Friends and members of our channel, given the large errors of interpretation, the quoted below, appears in the latest video 60, following an explanatory detail to these questions. Elenin comet, quoted. Mythi, much has been said about the destruction of the comet Elenin. It was even destroyed. They said the blast of energy came from the direction of Jupiter. Friends, Jupiter was more than 5 AU away, and across the Sun at that time. It has no logic. It may be that Jupiter was within the bidimensional image field of your probe, but, in another orbital quadrant, the spacecraft Krulian stood behind the comet in its exact orbit line, and fired. The Elenin comet was reduced by the Krulian burst of energy. It lost 90% of its coma, and all the material that had gathered in the asteroid belt. Thousands of tons of debris were removed, and a large volume of harmful gases, and the comet nucleus was broken into 2 parts. This greatly diminished the gravitational load of the set, and avoided a major bombardment with large asteroids in their passage on Earth. Its orbit has changed by increased speed somewhat with the explosion, and it will move a little closer to the Earth, but this should not pose a big problem. Still smaller pieces will regroup, attracted by the energy field of the comet, and the devices you have in orbit may be destroyed. The timing of events was also retained. Community Galactica spaceships are following this process closely. Resume. Elenin coma was reduced. Thousands of tons of debris were removed, and a large volume of harmful gases, and the comet nucleus was broken into 2 parts. Its orbit has changed by increased speed somewhat with the explosion, and it will move a little closer to the Earth, but this should not pose a big problem. Still smaller pieces will regroup, attracted by the energy field of the comet, and the devices you have in orbit may be destroyed. The timing of events was also retained. NASA JPL. The Community Galactica awaited his arrival at the Sun abeam to perform the cleanup of the coma, for the simple reason, most of the scrap collection was the passage through the asteroid belt. It would not do. A cleanup has been done before. What was not dirty enough? Are obvious conclusions, that I have not found a need to clarify in detail so small in the video 60. The Krulian spacecraft may be visible following it, we don't know if authorized, but, with great chance should be. Dwarf star Nibiru. Quoted. And on the dwarf star, what is really happening to it? The dwarf star is in approach of the Sun, approximately 38 days apart. A large spacecraft Krulian returned to stand behind the dwarf star. They must be on scientific observation to Community Galactica. Your probes should begin to see that approach in the next month if your government to release the images to the public. The planets of the dwarf star will be the first to be seen with the naked eye. After dwarf star passing abeam of the Sunday until late October, the solar system will be seen in its entirety, should line up between Earth and the Sun in late November and pass close to Earth by December. The events will take place this timing, if the parameters of speed and gravitational force remain constant. Resume. If Elenin will align with the Earth and Sun in the days 24, 25, September 26, the dwarf star plus 38 days equals 1, 2, November 3. If Elenin will pass closest to Earth on October 17, the dwarf star plus 38 days equals November 24, and throughout the month of December will be very close to passing away in January. This timing will depend on anything happen, this period of extraordinary character. It is not difficult to count days, so do not bother to put this calculations on video 60. I really do not believe this was not understood in the video 60. I can only believe that the turmoil in these matters was caused by people who wanted to disrupt our channel. This text is available in the video description to be read. Thanks to all. Captain Bill, September 5, 2011.